Hello, welcome to Our Perspective. I'm your host, Sister Charity, and joining my co-host, John Sells. Now, if you're new to our show, you'll find that we do not agree on everything. We both have our own different perspectives, and we respect each other's different perspectives. And if you like to share your perspective on any of the topics that we talk about tonight, please feel free to leave your point of view in the comments, and we'll get with those and we'll answer those. But for now, last week we were talking to John Sells about relationships and women, and we gotta touch on this because he almost sounds like Kevin Samuels, and I'm wondering if he's been reading Kevin Samuel books, watching too many Kevin Samuel YouTube videos. I just need to know, where is all of this stuff coming
from? I do watch Kevin Samuels, but I think I've always had that thought. I've always thought that for quite a while now, because I remember when you used to could run your household, and that was the things you wanted from a female was expected of them to give it to you, because this is before domestic violence. I'm old, so yeah. You could run your house and that person, things got better. Don't get me wrong, things got better, but Kevin had it down pat when he said that the woman was sold a bill of goods that they didn't need a man. I heard that coming up myself from my aunts and grandmother telling you that you don't need a man if you go do this, if you go do that. And I think they was wrong. You do need a man.
So let's put this in perspective. Hold up. Let's get this in perspective. You said, first of all, that a man kind of like, was the head of the house. That's what I heard you saying back in the day. Which means that he carried himself in such a way that a woman couldn't help but respect him. And like you said, it was before domestic violence. So it's almost like something changed and men feel like a woman is their possession. And unfortunately, not all men are standing up to their responsibility as the head of the house. And so when you heard women saying, you don't need a man, what they were basically saying is, I can do bad all by myself. And I agree with that. I can do bad all by myself. I don't need somebody, taken from me without giving anything. And that's what, we were talking about last week. And that's why I believe so many women feel the way they do. However, Kevin Samuels is quick to look at what a woman is not doing, but very slow to look at what men are not doing. He should have had a man component. I don't know if he did or not, but let's just.
I know, because I'm going to help you yourself. No, that's not. Kevin was on some high value men. Like, I'm not a high value man. It don't even matter. I'm not that. I'm not no six figure, So that don't even pertain to like what women not doing. Is women. He was trying to give women light, because a lot of times women had this fantasy that you could be out of shape, everything could be wrong with you, and you still want something better than what you're able to get. And he brought a lot of people to the light. He didn't really get a chance, live long enough to give them other options or other advice, but he was basically a consultant, image consultant.
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, so his whole premise was that women wanted more than what they were willing to, or a woman wanted somebody she couldn't have, because she was unattractive, or she was big, or she was uneducated, or whatever the case is. I didn't listen to a lot of his stuff, but pretty much that just seems to be like
he was hard to listen to. Especially if you had a good marriage. So your marriage was never in question, but he had people on there talking about how they cheated on their husband. I mean, you really had to really pay attention. He was schooling not only just the females, but the males. Like, a lot of these females would be like, don't want no plumber. I don't want no construction worker. We need ditch diggers too. I mean, you can't be up there plus size and talking about what you ain't gonna have. Like you could just have the best. Like I pray to God. God will send me the. No, he won't. No, you know, prayer without works. Mm-mm.
Well, let's just look at it from both sides of the fence, because I
Okay.
know men who are overweight who only want to date up and want the world, but not able to really give it, and they may not be all that attractive. But does that mean that they're in the wrong because they want more?
Well, we wasn't talking about fat guys, but I mean,
I
I'm a little
know you talk about
chubby.
fat women. You said
I
overweight
don't.
women. Let's put
No,
men
I'm talking about he was on, and they wasn't all overweight. Some of them was fine as all out get out, but they had 3 or 4 kids by 3 or 4 different dudes, and thought, hey, I can get this high value man to take care of 3 other people kids, and live with somebody make 300 and something $1,000 a year, and hey, you make bad decisions, and you can't get that. That's basically what he's saying. You make bad decisions, get more realistic and go get that dude that take out the track, work for the garbage company. He work hard. You're gonna be all right.
Well, I
Not,
agree.
not
I
a
agree. You
Birkin
should.
bag person.
I agree. You shouldn't base a person value on what they, where they work and all of that. So, I agree with that point. What I don't agree with necessarily is this whole thing about women having a whole lot of kids and expecting a man to come and take care of them. Let me just say this. You have men, okay, one man that got babies by 4 different women, okay? So that's just as bad. I'm just not one-sided. That's all I'm saying. I know we were not talking about overweight men and all of that. And I know Kevin Samuels was primarily talking to women because they were desperate enough to call in and get his advice. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of us as women, we need to work on our attitudes. We need to stop trying to be so strong. We need to stop trying to do so much. And we need to be submissive to the right person. But on the opposite side, the man has to bring a whole lot more to the table than he's bringing. That's all.
It doesn't matter if you don't have feminine energy and you have more male energy. And a lot of these females is always talking about, I got a PhD. I went to this, I went to that. These dudes don't care. Can you be submissive? Can you stay in shape? Can I take you to the office party? Can to the golf course or wherever and show you off? They want arm candy. These females probably had stretch marks and some more stuff, talking out of turn. They don't even know how to be quiet. They don't know how to be submissive. I'd call it be quiet, but you can call it submissive if you want to.
Well, there are two different things. Everybody
No.
should have a voice. Everybody should be able to speak their opinion and have a voice and be listened to, and not just, as a stoolie or somebody that just, okay, and be seen and not heard like we were told when we were kids. Really?
No, I mean, yeah, that would be nice, but you can't get everything. I mean, yeah, let's talk when we get home amongst ourselves. If we somewhere where you need to know when to be quiet, you need to know when to be quiet. It just helps everybody.
And I think that goes both ways. Sometimes men don't know when to be quiet, and they open their mouth and say the most stupidest stuff half the time when they're in an unfamiliar company. Especially these men, I'm not going to go there long because it's no round trip ticket back, but especially these men that are messy and gossipers. Really, what's going on with that? But
not yeah, that's that feminine energy that a guy's gossiping. Like I wouldn't be doing right now gossiping. I call it like you come from a Christian female perspective, and I'm coming from. I see these people out here, and they're not playing fair. They're not playing fair.
And for those of you who are like just tuning into our type of show, we're brothers and sisters, and we have come from 2 different walks of life, and we've always had different perspectives, and we've always loved each other in spite of our perspectives. And sometimes that just doesn't happen in a family dynamic or outside the family dynamic. But we're hoping through this show that we can show that it's okay to have different perspectives and give you an opportunity to see both, so that you don't just see one side. And unfortunately, people in the church, they only want to see one side. Not all people, but some people in the church, they only want to see one side, and that's their side. Unfortunately, some people in the world only want to see one side, and that's their side. But we're coming to you with a worldly view and a Christian view, or I don't really like to say the word Christian because most of you all think it's a religion.
It's the worldly one. You talking about me? Oh,
yeah, your view is more worldly. My view is more a relationship with the Lord, and I'm trying to use wisdom and just do what is pleasing. And but we're having a real conversation. So let me ask this. I want to flip the script because I don't want to talk about Kevin Samuels no more.
Before we go with Kevin, I just want to put my input of like how, so people can know how close we are. I just was thinking today, do you remember that time we had to take a bath with our laundry with Tide soap in the bath water? Like, do you know how old you gotta be to have these kids today talking that trash? I mean, y'all
that was our bubble bath.
Yeah, and you was itching and scratching in places you could not reach because wherever that Tide was, you was dry as a. Well, anyway, that's how far we go back.
Right.
Yeah, we was raised by a conservative woman. She got as much out that bath for that one bath water as she possibly could.
Okay.
Kill four birds with one stone. Love you, Mom. I'm good.
Yeah, we love you, Mom. But since we're on Mom, let me ask this question because I need to know. I have 3 daughters. Mm-hmm. You have 2 daughters, 2 sons, and grandchildren. So, what would you tell your daughters? I know what I would tell mine, but what would you tell your daughters as it relates to a man that thinks like you?
Well, if they was talking to me, because I did give them the Kevin Samuels conversation, because that's what I was supposed to do. But they wanted the watered down version, and I don't put water on it. I don't cut my medicine. Sometimes medicine tastes bad, but if you really want to get healed, you got to take it. So,
okay, give me an example. What you mean by the water? They wanted a watered down version. I don't know what that means.
Watered down version of a conversation like, "Hey, Deb, I can't seem to get anybody. But you don't really commit to the gym. You don't deal with the competition. Plus, you made some bad moves, and you got a child, and you're trying to have a career. Well, now you don't even have time to focus on love. You got to focus on the child because the child's more important than some dude. And you don't want, seeing how you have a daughter, you don't want anybody around her that's a male because you don't know. She's not street like my kids have been sheltered, so I'll just put it like that. So I was giving her game, and the game turned into me insulting her about her fat shaming her. It turned into that. And I was not fat shaming her. I was just giving her the facts of what I hear from all types of men. Now, I'm sure there's somebody who will love the hell out of her, but that's a waiting game. If you trying to be out here competing, then this ain't the market for that. You got to be in shape.
Okay. So I'm just going to go there real quick. There are so many quote unquote fine women out there. Okay. They're in shape. They got the BBLs. They got a 28 waist. They got the other stuff, that they pay for. And yet they don't have any substance. You know what I'm saying? That's what pretty much what Kevin Samuels was trying to get some of them to understand, that you don't bring no substance. And so I would say just telling your daughter that you know, she got to go to the gym if she want to get a good man. I think it's so much more than that. I think first and foremost, some men, and I would venture to say a lot of them, not like you, but the ones that you know you want that's husband material, they want a woman that is confident. They want a woman that is secure with herself, a woman that is stable, even if she has a child or two children. If she's confident, if she's self, you know, she has high self-esteem and all of those things. Some men, that's what they're looking for, and it's attractive and it's sexy. Whereas some men are shallow and they only want what a nice looking body, or somebody that's kind of like you said in the previous show, somebody you can train.
Well, I told her like this. The type of guy she wanted, I was giving her advice based on what she was relaying to me, and she was relaying to me that the type of guy she wanted, and I happen to believe that the type of guy she wanted is not going to want her if he's got all the specific. She had a checklist,
right?
You know, sometimes you got to meet somebody and build something with them. I built things with her mother. We built things. We were equals, almost.
Mm-hmm.
I was the boss, and she listened to me sometimes.
Yeah. But you know, it's a catch-22 with trying to raise girls. I know I have 3 of them, and one of the things about the dad has such a high place of value in their daughter's heart. I don't care what kind of dad you are. Your daughter loves you. And I'm not just talking about you, John. I'm talking about a daughter loves her dad regardless. And he gives her the confidence and the assurance when he speaks life, when he speaks, when he congratulates her, when he validates her of being a woman that is just one of a kind. And if a guy don't like you, too bad, so sad. Just keep waiting on the one and have a standard. And I'm going to tell you, I told my daughters, look, write down your standard. And that's what I did. And my friends laughed and thought I was bougie and all of this other stuff because I said I wanted what God said I could have. And your children can have what God says that they can have because they're fearfully and wonderfully made. I don't care how they look. I don't care how they dress. I don't care about any of that. And this is the caveat. If they seek what God has for them, he'll be the right person for them, and stop looking at what the world says the right one. That goes for men and women.
I don't mean to be out of order, but if you told that to one of these women today, they would have fell asleep halfway in between. You need to, their attention span is like this. You have.
I disagree.
It's not about logic or what makes sense. Somebody came to me on advice about men, and being one, I thought I could give them some, but I didn't give it to them in a way in which favored them. And that's what Kevin Samuels was all about. He had to tell them the truth. And even they knew it. You have a lot of them say, you're right, because they was expecting the fairy tale stuff. Like, no, you're not gonna. No, stop it. Let's be realistic. What's wrong with the guy who will be loyal and faithful to you and is ready to settle down and try to build something? He just might be a contractor who make 100,000 and you don't have to work. What's wrong with building something together? So when you get that half, you feel like you earned it, not that you just got it.
Well, two people can complete each other. And here's another issue with sometimes women. Sorry about that. Sometimes women want a man to complete them. And you got to be complete before you involve somebody else in your life. You got to be complete. Now, I disagree. I believe women want to hear what I just said. Just nobody ever told them, especially their fathers. And so if we have men out there listening, rather than talk about Kevin Samuels, because I don't know if Kevin Samuels even had a girlfriend or a wife, and he might have been sus. Okay,
He
so
died. What's the name? Whoopi's daddy died on top of somebody.
huh?
Funny, but yeah, he died. You know.
You're saying he passed away with somebody? Okay, we ain't gonna even go there. But that's neither here nor there. I know I'm getting ready to change the subject, but there was a woman that, you know, this whole monkeypox stuff that's going around. And there was a straight woman who said, what if she had, you know, sexual relations with a man on the down low? You know, she could possibly get it. So I'm just saying, people who bash, you know, something might be wrong with them. People who bash women, I think they're sus.
I don't think he was bashing them. He was just, they were calling him for advice. He had a lot of clientele, and he didn't charge a lot of them. He made a lot of, look, he was popular, but
when they went against what he said,
his belief pattern matches mine. That's why he came to me on YouTube on my phone. It was the algorithm. That's how I perceived what he was saying was advice, but he never got to finish his work. He did great work. You'd have to really just, because it's like, if you hear somebody talking in a way that you don't agree with, you don't like, sometimes you won't listen to them long enough to agree with them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I saw an episode of his, and this woman said, he asked her what was her weight. And she said she was fat. And he was like, how much do you weigh? And she was like, that ain't none of your business. And he hung up on her. See, if you don't want to hear something, he hangs up on somebody. You know what I'm saying?
He was being sassy, and he was running a business. You gotta understand, just like we're running a business, and I would never disrespect. Some people haven't been potty trained. You know, that's what I call potty training. When you running off at the mouth and you don't know how to lock it up. Like, I mean, he was asked to give her advice, and then she started giving advice. So he don't have time for that. He had to cut it off.
Giving advice and asking questions are two different things.
The thing of it is she was heavy and she was mad. You could tell. Sometimes heavy people could be so mean, and sometimes they could be nice. It just depends on the person.
Right.
But like, he didn't say that can't happen for you. What he said is the likelihood of it happening to you is like 0. No.
But that's not true. And I want all those women out there that heard Kevin Samuels and that believe what he said. Yeah, we all got to do a self-evaluation of ourselves. We all have to make sure we're together individually. Like, I got to make sure that I'm growing every day, that I'm reading and learning and seeking, you know, what God's plan and purpose is for my life. And I think that's what's happened along the way, is we've gotten away from the fact that we have been created with a plan and a purpose from God, and we straying away trying to fill the void that only God can fill, seeking it in all the wrong faces and places. And that's why so many women are empty and hurting, is because they won't let God deal with them. You know, that to me, that's the first step, is getting that relationship with God.
You got to be able to reach the people that never went to God in the first place. The church is losing so many parishioners daily because you can go on internet and it'll be people in there that make you feel good. Some people go to stuff that just make them feel good, and some people go to stuff that they can complain about. You know, a lot of people, man, that's how he got so popular. People want to watch controversy. People want to see people going at each other. And I don't think he really went after somebody. He just enlightened them on some simple facts. Hey, you might want to lower your horizon, lower your standard, or get a dog, get a cat. And you love the hell out of them, but they only live like 10 years, 12 years if you're lucky. So maybe you go at the same time as your dogs. Maybe you go before. Either way, you got a dog or a cat and not a live man.
But the issue is the person needs to understand who they are. That's number one. And that's why I said a woman is just way more than what she give I don't care if she's a high school dropout and been on drugs and had 5 children and 2 abortions. I don't care about any of that. A woman is someone to
Oh,
be reckoned with.
somebody do care. It's somebody. Now that's easy for you to say you don't care about that, but yeah, that's coming from
No,
a
I'm saying regard.
in a dude's head. He want to know body count, especially a 6-figure dude. He can get what he wants. You only can get as much somebody allow you to get. And he was trying to tell these ladies, yeah, you make 100 and something thousand, but a guy that makes 6 figures don't care how much money you make.
Okay, let's stop right there for a second. First of all, I was saying I personally don't care if a woman went through a whole lot of stuff. She's still beautiful. She still has a whole lot to give. She still has value. That was that point. And as far as you telling me that Kevin Samuels was saying a 6-figure man can have any woman he wants, then why can't a 6-figure woman have any man she wants? If we just gonna go there, because he was saying, would you date a garbage man or would you date a plumber? Maybe she don't want that.
No. But you gotta understand something. These were single women calling him saying, why are we single? I want this, and how am I? Do I have a chance at getting it? He's a consultant. He's an image consultant. So he would.
By the way, he wasn't a good one because he didn't help none of those women telling them what he said.
No, he was pretty good. I mean, like I said, he was rude. Yeah, but he helped out a lot of women.
Telling a woman that she needs to be telling us a woman making 6 figures that she need to marry. She need to consider going out with a garbage man or somebody who doesn't work but has potential. That's not it. But he did say that to some women, and then the men, I haven't heard him say anything about making 6 figures need to go with a woman that.
No, there are men that make 30,000 thinking they're supposed to be having it all. Like he got on men too, and they talked about their fatness and what they should expect from how they look. Everything's based on visual eye candy. It's eyes. It's the new world is crazy. You know what I'm saying? You've been in a marriage, so people are doing things different now.
I wasn't always married, and I'm gonna tell you, this stuff is not new. It's been going on for ages.
When was the last time you were single?
It don't matter. I got married at 22, so I've been married.
No, I'm talking about what year was that? Oh,
1990.
Okay, you got a 19 in it. You notice it's 2000. It's 22 years in this.
It don't matter. When I got married, the same stuff was going on, is what I'm trying to tell you. But I want all of the women that's listening, I want them to know that they don't have to settle. And one of the things that will help them is seeking God. He created us. He made us innate, and he has that perfect person that he has for every last one of us. We just keep trying to look at the outward appearance, eye candy and all that stuff you're talking about. And that's where so many women make a mistake.
Yeah, they do. I don't like fake hair. I mean, but they wear it. I believe women should wear their natural hair, but they don't believe that. So because I'm by myself.
Because if they have alopecia or something like that, you ain't even gonna look at them twice.
Nah, if I don't get with the program, I get left behind. That's what this thing is about. If you don't start elevating yourself to another level, you know what I'm saying? If you don't play the game the way the game's being played, you're a dinosaur. You get left behind. You'll be an ape.
So I'm a challenge you, okay? I'm gonna challenge you to treat women like you want your daughters to be treated, and then treat your daughters like they deserve to be treated. How about that? And if you want me to elaborate, I will.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So your daughters, they are just beautiful young women. And unfortunately, they may not feel it because they they never heard it from, I mean, I don't know if you said anything to them about who they are and they're strong and encouraging them and all of that. I don't even know if you had time to do all that, but I'm saying today, take some time and just find some positive things about your daughters and reach out to them and share that. Not just you, but I'm talking about all of the fathers out there, because especially those of you who have daughters with children, you know, they are probably doing it by themselves. They are phenomenal, powerful women. They've been raising these children for years and years and years by themselves, while the men just go and make all these babies by different babies' mamas, and the woman got to sit up there and raise his kids.
Hold up now.
You asked me to elaborate.
Hold up, big swole up. Check this out. If you're keeping them ladies closed, you're not having babies like that.
Oh, now you want to go Pentecostal on me, huh?
Them legs got to be closed. You know that. And they not closing them now. So they creating day babies, kids. That type of stuff. You create that.
Your grandkids.
No home you ever have, I mean, you have some nice 16-year-old, but you know when they start to do sneaky stuff and go this place, when they said they was going that place, it happens. Everybody go through it.
Yeah.
What my problems are is they don't want to hear the hard facts. I have a daughter that's over 200 and I don't know, it's big. And I tried to tell her before it got to that spot, and all they could say is, you don't know how to talk to people. But I tried to stop you from getting to where you are because I saw you headed there. And because I took
you love her in spite of, right? You love her in spite of, right? Okay, that's all she needs to know.
Gay, whatever, but I'm saying, how do you expect to get happiness out of the things you want when you're so broken and you're so hurt?
That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm sharing with you. They may not have ever gotten what they needed from their dad. Not just you. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about the fathers out there.
Oh, I can understand. You got a point somewhere. But when you're an adult, you know, you start making your own moves. Can't nobody tell you what to do. If things aren't right after 3 years of being in captivity or whatever it is you went through in your life, you in charge of your life, you have to make your own moves to get it better. Because you can't keep on what somebody did to you. It'll happen over and over every day of your life, and life is short.
Yeah.
You need to snap out of it. That's what I would say.
Well, you know, some of us have stepped out of it or jumped out of it, and some of us don't know how. And maybe we'll have a show, you know, talking about that. But our time is up. So I have enjoyed you. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective. I respect it. And I look forward to hearing the comments. Please subscribe, click the bell so that you'll get a notification when we have another show. It's a weekly show, so we look forward to seeing you next week. God bless, and thank you for tuning in to Our Perspective.
Thanks. Bye.